Hello, beautiful beings of light. I am Angelica. This is Infinite Love, and thank you for joining me today. Today, I wanted to talk about codependency versus interdependency. And this is an aspect as myself, as I delve deeper into my own shadow and do the shadow work and allow the old paradigm beliefs about myself, about relationships, etc., to rise up to the surface. This is codependency is a subject that I have been reworking, processing, and so that I can spin it into a higher vibration, as such as interdependency. So, what is codependency? Codependency is very, very unhealthy. It's where we are relying on our partner or a parent or a child or, a relation, some type of relationship. It's where we are relying on that relationship to fulfill every need, every want, every desire, or maybe just one or two desires, one or two things within our life. So it's where we are relying on somebody else or a situation or whatever in order to fulfill our needs, our wants, our desires, and to make us happy. Whereas interdependency is we're standing in our full empowerment. We know how to fill our own cup, so to speak. We know how to fulfill our own needs, our wants, our desires, etc. So that when we get into a relationship with anybody else, which we're always in relationship to somebody or to a situation or whatever. So when we get into a relationship, we know we already have our cup filled and full, because we've already filled it up for ourselves, and thus the overflow of love, of attention, of whatever flows onto the other person. Codependency is this energy of almost siphoning off somebody else's resources and happiness or whatever in order to make you happy, in order to make us happy. Interdependence is we know how to do it, we're clear in ourselves, we can fill our own cup, and we're able to interplay with everybody without there being some kind of payoff for us. We can stand fully in our empowerment. Now, empowerment, this is the age of empowerment, like I like to call it. This is the age of empowerment. So if we're standing in our own empowerment, we are very clear in ourselves. We are clear in our wants, our needs, our desires, our necessities, and we get those done for ourselves. Now, if somebody else, or we're in a relationship that they happen to want to do that, and then that's fine, but we're not relying on it. We're not dependent on it. Whereas interdependency, we can play, and those energies are not being siphoned off. They're actually able to expand and play with each other in a much more fifth dimensional consciousness type of way. Codependency is very, very very, very 3D concept. It's a very, very old, outdated concept where we had to be dependent on a job or a relationship or a certain situation in order to make us happy, to provide for us, etc., etc. Interdependency is where we know how to get that from ourselves. We know how to go to the well within in order to fill ourselves up so that, and fill our own cup up, right? So that we can overflow our love for ourselves, our love for the world, our passion, our happiness onto our relation, whoever we're in relationship to, or the situation, or whatever. So interdependence is what we're looking to transform codependence into. So we're looking basically, let me say that again. We're looking to transform and transmute codependency into interdependency, because it's a much higher vibration. So, and there's no judgments here, because I myself am transforming this this concept for myself. I am in the middle of it. The thing is I don't have a job right now. I'm very, very dependent on somebody else, not to make me happy or anything like that, but it's financially. Now, I've had a job, I've had that stuff, I've been able to support myself from in my life before. I noticed from where I am standing now, I've noticed that looking back, it was whenever I got into a relationship, I became very codependent. And then I became unhappy, resentful, and then there came a whole slew of other issues and challenges that came with being in that kind of relationship. And so and since I am looking to transform, transmute, alchemize my own situation, and I am receiving these insights about myself and how to transform them, I wanted to share them with you, because right now I am dependent upon my partner for financial support, but at the same time I'm utilizing that financial support in order to lift myself up. So, like I just posted the Reiki video yesterday, I'm utilizing the financial support that my partner is giving me in order to lift myself up, so that I can empower myself fully, so that I can bring my best self to the relationship fully, so that I can be fully sovereign and I don't have to rely on my partner for these necessities that I can give myself and that I have given myself before. It's also because of, I'm transitioning from 3D concepts, 3D beliefs about myself, into fifth dimensional concepts and fifth dimensional beliefs, so that I can be fully empowered, and so that I can help empower others in a much more empowered way. And so I think that's all I wanted to say, guys. It's codependency, unhealthy. It's this energy of siphoning off and needing somebody else to make us happy. And let me just say, what a burden that is to put somebody on, to put on somebody. That's a very, very heavy burden to put on somebody, for your happiness, for your success, for your whatever. That's a very, very heavy burden to place on somebody else. When you yourself, me, myself, we can do this on our own, or not on our own, but we can do that. We can fill our own selves up. We are responsible for our own happiness. We are responsible for getting our wants and needs met, and in an empowered way, rather than siphoning somebody else off, because that starts to create a lot of more issues in relationships, and it brings all of these weird things up, and distortions can happen, and like all kinds of different things can happen. So that is codependency versus interdependency. And interdependence is very, very healthy. It's in empower. It's in standing in our own empowerment and our own sovereignty, so that we can match. We can both be empowered, whether whoever, doesn't matter who's in the relationship. So we can both be empowered, and we're both bringing this uplifting energy. We're not dependent and bringing each other down in this energy. It's a very uplifted, expansive energy, rather than siphoning off and, and taking the energy away, draining energy essentially. Interdependency allows those energies to flow and to be expansive, and we can get so much more done when we're not relying on somebody else for our happiness, for the choices we make, for our needs, because we can go within. Let me finish by saying this. We as humans, it's in this age of empowerment, it's time for us to learn and to step into our empowerment by realizing that we are responsible for our own happiness, not anybody else. And when we place that responsibility on somebody else, can you feel that heaviness that you're putting on them? You have to make me happy. You have to figure it out for me. You. No. We have to be responsible. And when we are responsible, remember, responsibility is all it is our ability to respond. So if you have a need met, take the responsibility within your own self, the ability to respond to the need that needs to be met within yourself, and meet that need. Now, this goes on into other things, and if your partner wants to meet that need in a certain situation, that's great, that's awesome. But to be completely dependent on it, and to say something like, you have to meet this need within me, that completely disempowers the whole energetic dynamic. And so I will leave you with that. Be open, kind of let it marinate, feel into it, see how it resonates, and I hope it is my intention that this video helps you in the highest and best way. Thank you so much for watching. Infinite love, rainbow blessings, and as always, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, share this video out if it resonates, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.